Hello, it's Anna of Viking Stitches. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry I'm a bit late. I usually try and get my videos out once a month, but the last month has been a bit crazy. So I'm giving this out a bit late this time. Got a fair few new subscribers, so I thought I'd introduce myself again. Like I said, my name is Anna. I'm Icelandic, but I've lived in the UK for about 15 years now. Came out to study. Met my husband, well, now husband, and I've got 2 children now, 5 and a 2-year-old. So, yeah, not quite how I thought things would go when I moved out here, but hey. I also lived in the States, in Texas, when I was younger. When I was about 3 until about 9.5, 10, something or other like that. So I learned American English. Then obviously when I moved over here, I learned sort of British English. Proper English, as many would say. And so my accent has kind of changed over time. I apparently sound still quite American to the Brits, but the Americans think I sound British, and I think I'm just somewhere in between. So I said in my last video that I was going to try, and my target was to finish my daughter's Christmas stocking in time for my mom to arrive, which she arrived on August 1st. Didn't quite manage that, but I did finish the cross stitch, so that is fully done, and I'll stick a picture up here. So that's what it looks like, although you'll notice that her name is crossed out. You can just see her initials, obviously for privacy reasons. And the reason I wanted to get it done was so that my mum could help me with the sewing machine. Now, of course, we kind of almost ran out of time. We only had a couple of evenings the last few days that she was here. So she's left again, left on the 15th. Very sad. But yeah, so we did get a fair bit done, and also I am a bit crazy and I undid my son's stocking because I wasn't happy with so the kit is a dimensions kit, and it comes with this like fleece liner thing, and I'd used that as part, like one of the liners, but I wasn't happy with it. It was really bulky, so took it apart, took out the fleece liner, got some more fabric to be able to do the inner lining with. And I also, because I ended up doing colonial knots for the snowflakes on my daughter's stocking. And it turned out a lot better, and they were a lot more delicate, and I realized that I didn't like how the French knots looked on my son's stocking. So I took them all out and redid them, because why wouldn't I? But thankfully it only took me 1 evening to do that. So that, sorry, that something happened there, something glitched, so I just stitched that back together. So I think I was saying I redid the French knots, turned them into colonial knots for my son. But because I could see where they had been, like there were kind of holes in the Ada, so it went a lot quicker. I managed to do that in 1 evening, so that was good. And then managed to cut out, so this is my daughter's stocking. You can't see the actual, like the Adas in here, but you can't see it because we got to the point where we'd cut everything out and stitched everything, pinned everything together, but it hasn't been sewn together. So that's where we're at with that. But it was like 20 past 10 on a Monday evening, and I had work in the morning, and my mum was leaving the next day on the flight. And I just got to the point where, like, we're not going to be able to finish these. We're going to make a mistake somewhere because we're tired, and so yeah. So I made that decision. But we will be flying to Iceland on the... well, maybe I won't say the exact date, but later, and we'll be flying in December, before Christmas. So we'll do that before it actually hits Christmas, so that they can have them for Christmas. And I got this really gorgeous fabric. I love it, for my daughter's stocking. These really cute animals. Really pretty. And I will put the shop that I got this from in the underneath bit. And my son's stocking is here. That's his fabric. I love his fabric. He's very much a trains, planes, and automobiles little dude. He loves his, especially trains. Oh, he's train obsessed. But I found this Christmas car fabric, which as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the one. That's the one that I want for him. It's perfect. So yes, so I finally got that done. Hallelujah. I am not a monogamous stitcher. Like that nearly did me in, doing 2 months of basically stitching on nothing else. But I'm really proud of myself, because I think it was like early mid-May, and I was like 10% done with her stocking-ish. And I managed to get it done in 2.5, 3 months, which, like, way better than how it went with my son's. I think it took, I took breaks and stuff when I did my son's, but it took 1.5 years to do his, because I just wasn't sticking with it. So yes, so what now? I'm in a group on Facebook called Fandom Stitching Central, and it has lots of like challenges and stuff, and it's just fun to take part. But one of the things they're doing at the moment is Ringo, which is basically stitching bingo, kind of like Whip Go, I guess, but I think they're only running it July and August, and it's taking place of, because they usually have like weekly challenges, monthly challenges, and they have 2-year-longs, and the Ringo is replacing the monthly for August and July and August. So when I started, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to take part in Ringo, because I was a bit worried about, because I wanted to finish my stocking and I already had that plan. So what I ended up doing, what I was recommended to do by my team lead, which I'm in Team Elf. I felt that was appropriate considering I'm Nordic. I was like, can I be Team Elf, please? But yeah, so when I started out, I filled basically every square with just, I think I've put 1,300 stitches, and they call a number, or they call a square every week. So I was I had worked out at that point when Ringo started that I needed to be doing about 1,300 stitches a week to finish on time. Now we know I didn't finish on time, so I did not manage a lot of those challenges. But now that I have finished my stocking, I've now changed my Ringo board. I'm allowed to do that. So I have added things like, I want to finish my Pretty Little Tokyo stitch. I'll put a picture of that up here. I have a pattern that's basically my son's name, and it has like construction vehicles around it. So I can work on that. I have a Pretty Little New York pattern that I've only just started. But yes, I've added that. Midna, so the first week after I finished the stocking and I changed my board, Midna got called. So I've worked on Midna a little bit. What did I do with her? She is over here. So I got another, I think, 0.3% done. Not, I mean, it's a big project, but so this is where we started. I'll put that up there. So this is from Pinky the Pink, or Make It Pink. She she's charted Hannah Alexander pattern artwork, and Hannah Alexander does like Art Nouveau style kind of versions of pop culture figurines, mostly women. There are a few men, but not a lot. So I have all of her Zelda patterns. There's pink Zelda, blue Zelda, there's Hilda, there's Midna, which is the one I'm doing. There is Green Link and Blue Link, which are probably the only men that she's done, I think. And Mifa from Breath of the Wild. I think that's all the Zelda patterns she has. So I have all of those. My plan is to get through them eventually, but as you can see, I'm not going very far. So this is being stitched on, it's a hand-dyed, I think it's 18 count. And to be honest, the next time I do one, I'm going to do a higher count because there's a lot of like half stitches and quarter stitches and it's really fiddly, which I think would be a lot easier on a higher count. But you live and you learn. So this is where we're at now. And of course I can't see the camera. There we go. So what I have done is I've added a little bit more onto this bit and a little bit more of the gray here. Like I said, it's not very far, but I was very happy. I was very happy to get a chance to work on her, and I really want to work on her again. But something else has been called for this week, which we'll get to in a moment. But I also wanted to show I've got a Legend of Zelda needle minder as well, which makes me very happy to have one that goes with. Very pretty, very pretty. Right. So what I'm working on this week. I signed up for the Stitching Book Club Anne of Green Gables Stitch Along, and I ordered the kit because I'm insane. Yeah, it was not cheap to get it sent from the States, but I just really wanted the like special fabric for it. I didn't want to get whichever fabric, so yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but I did. So, and that is what was called this week. And it took ages to arrive, understandably, but I have started slightly, so I don't, obviously, because it's kind of like a mystery sal, I don't really have a finished, there's not a finished pic, so I can't really show you what it's going to look like, because I only have the pattern, and only the part of the pattern, because only the first part has been released. So it started on the 12th of August, and I have done, I think I've done about 231 stitches on this. And this is where I'm at. I'm loving the colors. They're really gorgeous colors. And I've only stitched this last night and the night before. So it stitches up fairly easily. But this is the first time I am stitching on such a high count. This is 28 count even weave, I believe. And yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's good. It took me a few minutes to get my head around how to do 2/2, because I've never done that before. I'd only done 2/1. But But yeah, it's coming out well. And I thought I'd show you, here's the rest of the colors, the floss. It's gonna be really pretty. And I mean, I couldn't resist, even though it was expensive, because I loved Anne of Green Gables. When I was a kid, we had the like TV movie that they did, like I think back in the 80s or something. It was filmed with Megan Follows, I think the actress was called. But yeah, I had that on like a VHS, like 2 VHS box set kind of thing. But I don't think I've seen all of it. I think because it was like, it was definitely Anne of Green Gables, and then there's, I think it goes up to like Gilbert Gets Sick or something. It's been a long time since I've watched this. I really want to watch it again, but I can't find it anywhere to watch. Like we've got Disney Plus and Prime currently, and I think Paramount Plus, but it's not on any of that. We don't currently have Netflix, just because it was getting to the point that, you know, paying for all these different streaming services, and it's just getting so expensive. So we're kind of in the spot now where we've decided to just, we'll pay for like a month at a time for if we want to watch whatever. So like we've got Paramount Plus at the moment, just because my husband wanted to watch, what's it called? Star Trek, a Strange New Worlds or something like that. The one with like Pike, and it's pre-Kirk being captain of the Enterprise. I've watched some stuff because my husband likes Star Trek, and like we watched all of DS9 in our early dating life. But yeah, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, so we'll probably get like I want to get Netflix because the new season of Sex Education is coming out. I really love that show. And like whenever Bridgerton comes out and Stranger Things, we will definitely be signing up. But we're no longer gonna be, you know, sticking with one streaming service for a long time, just because we can't afford it. The cost of living crisis and all of that. Right, that was a ramble. What else was going to talk about? Oh yes, more on my insanity. So I was watching, sorry, my husband was calling there. Which means I need to wrap this up soon because he's coming home with kids soon. But I don't think I have that much more to talk about. Right. So I was watching Stitching Moon. And she was doing, I think, a kit parade. And she talked about how she'd finally gotten her hands on the Dimensions Gold kit, Aurora, which is this one, which is out of print, so it's very hard to get. And I saw it and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's so pretty, so pretty. So I went on a deep dive and I really, really wanted to find it. And I did, in the Netherlands, in a tiny shop in the Netherlands. And they don't ship out of the EU, which, because of Brexit, we are now no longer in the EU. For fuck's sake. So I worked out a whole thing of, so I have an aunt who lives in Sweden, so I ended up having it sent to Sweden, and my aunt was like, yeah, no problem. Now the original plan, because I didn't want to inconvenience my aunt too much, was to, she would just hold on to it, and the next time that she went to Iceland, then she could take it with her to Iceland, and then eventually I would go to Iceland as well and be able to pick it up. But she has been talking about potentially posting it to me, so we'll see. It may show up at some point. But that is definitely the most expensive cross-stitch purchase I have ever made. It was, I mean, it wasn't too, I mean, it was on the more expensive side, just the kit itself. But then postage to Sweden was quite a bit as well. And then I'm gonna, yeah. So yeah, but it's stunning. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It'll be lovely. So stash. What other stash? Not stash. Haul. Other haul. So because I have no self-control, I have bought some patterns on Etsy as well. I bought 2 needle minder layer patterns because I love needle minder layer. So I bought this one with Aerith and Red 13 from Final Fantasy 7 because I love Final Fantasy so much. And she has so many patterns that I want to get, so I'm trying to, like, every now and then I just buy one because they're not like super expensive, but still, like, because they're not big patterns, but they're still like 4 or 5 quid for it, which, you know, I'm not knocking, you know, she does good patterns, but I can't afford to buy all of them at once. And I also bought this one, which is Winged Rinoa from Final Fantasy 8. So I've added that. And then I also impulse bought this one from Artsy Fartsy Stitches. It's this royal blue queen pattern. Full coverage. I just love the colors in this. I am a bit worried about what it's going to look like because it's not that expensive, and I'm just wondering if, like, is it going to be really confetti heavy and everything, but we'll find out. We'll find out. And I also impulse bought this one, Japanese Landscape. It's very pretty. I love the colors in it. Very pretty. Now, in my first or second video, I mentioned that I bought my first Hades, but I think I forgot to put in pictures for that. So I thought I'd add them in now. I'm not like a massive Hade fan, like, you know, no shade if you do like them, but a lot of the, like, artwork just isn't my style, so I don't really go for them, except for these Lisa Parker cat patterns. So I got this one, which I think this one is called Witching Hour, but it's the cat. It's the cat that does it for me. Yes, it is called Witching Hour. I had a black cat who was the biggest sweetheart when I was growing up. I miss her very much. So I have the black cats have a special spot in my heart. So yes, I also have this one. A Brush with Magic, I think this one is called. So yes, and I'm pretty sure I got like max colors and everything because, like I said, I have no self-control. I don't know when I'm gonna finish doing this, but yeah. There is at least one more of these Lisa Parker ones. There's a black cat that has like a absinthe and the green fairy and stuff like that. It looks really cool. So I want to get that as well because why not? Right. So last thing I was going to talk about is, where are you? There you are. So I haven't in the past been able to like link anyone that I've shouted out, but I recently was able to like get verified or whatever it's called, I don't know. So now I can link everyone. So I thought I'd shout out all the Flosstubers I watch, because I do watch quite a lot of Flosstube. Because quite often, like if I'm at work or something and I'm just doing like a really tedious, boring task, then it's really nice to have something in the background to just, ease that boredom a bit. So thank you for everyone I'm about to shout out, because you have made my life so much easier at work and in general, like, because I don't just watch at work, but yeah, it's made a lot of difference for like tedious tasks at work. So first shout out is going to have to be Tally Cross Stitch. Because so Millie, who is Tally Cross Stitch, she is the one who got me into all of this. She started the Northants stitching group, and which is where I met her, and she was talking about her Flosstube, and she was encouraging me to make one as well. So I was like, you know what, why not? And here we are several months later. And she has some lovely projects. So yeah, go check her out. The next Flosstuber I'm going to shout out is Crafty Gaming Jamie. I have watched all of her Flosstubes, which is what I do. I just start from the beginning and start watching, and sometimes some of it's really old. But it's nice to see the sort of progression. But yes, Crafty Gaming Jamie, she has a lot of like gamer pieces, which like I quite enjoy because I'm a gamer. So for example, she has a Pinky the Pink pattern. I forget, Kida, that's what her name is, because Pinky the Pink has a bunch of Disney princesses, which are also Hannah Alexander. Excuse me, I feel like I'm about to burp, but it's just kind of sitting there. Excuse me, sorry. Yes, so she's done, she's doing Kida. I don't think she's finished with it. She's also doing some Medusa doll maker patterns, which are really stunning. And I think she's also got some, what's it called? Stardew Valley. Yes, so go check her out. And I mean, that's not the only stuff she does, but those are the things that really sort of drew me in. And similarly, also Lunar Stitch Witch. She has lots of sort of nerdy patterns that really suit my aesthetic and what I'm interested in. So I've watched all of her stuff. Then, as I mentioned, Stitching Moon. She's lovely. She's an American living in Norway. So I kind of feel that connection of like you're living in a different country. Yes, and then I've watched all of Books and Stitches. She's got some lovely patterns, and she's doing the Aurora pattern, so I've really been enjoying watching her do that. And I think she's got a Pinky the Pink pattern, but she hasn't started it. I think she's got like an aerial one or something like that. But she also does she's got a massive soda stitch pattern that she's doing, that she's like put loads of different ones together. It looks really good. Then what else have I been watching? Stitchy Rin. I think I actually finished watching all of her videos today. Again, gaming stitcher. She's making a lot of patterns for Chrono Cross, I think, rather than Trigger. I never played those games, but it all looks really nice. And I just like her vibe. She's lovely. I've been watching Jen the Caffeinated Crafter, who is crazy. She's in some of my cross-stitch gaming groups, so I started watching her, and she's mad. She has like over 100 whips going at a time. I don't know how she does it. And she has a whole thing where she like pulls all the names out of a hat and like decides what she's going to work on the next month, and everything. It's loads of fun to watch. So I recommend her, definitely. I have also been watching Stitch by Liz. She's Australian. She does kind of nerdy pattern. I'm trying to remember now. And she has yes, actually, yeah, she has a bunch of like Harry Potter ones and that sort of thing. And she has a partner called Ross who's hilarious as well. So yes, go check them out. Another nerdy one I would say is Your Average Cross Stitcher. Yeah, she has some nice patterns as well. Some like unusual ones, like she has an alien, as in like Alien the movies, petting a cat. And she has some, I think she has a Doctor Who one. Yeah, she's lovely. I think that's about it. Yes. Hiya. Just filming a quick little extra bit because I forgot a few people from my Flosstuber list. So I forgot Minigame Stitcher. I don't know how I forgot her. I'm so sorry. But she has some gorgeous nerdy patterns. For example, she has a really gorgeous VV one from Final Fantasy IX. She said that it's really confetti heavy and she didn't like it that much. Oops, sorry. But it just looks so gorgeous. I'm definitely going to buy it at some point. Because it just looks so gorgeous that I think the confetti is worth it. And she also has some Zelda ones. I think from Neo Minder Layer, which is one of my favorite shops. Some full coverage. I think there's one Breath of the Wild and one from Twilight Princess that are coming along really nicely. And then in between when I first filmed the first video and now when I'm filming this, Becky Craft has finally done another update, which is very exciting. I'm very happy to see her. Just her energy is on another level. I love it. So yes, go check those two out as well. Definitely. Bye. Yeah, I think so. I think we're all good. So yeah, slightly shorter video this time. Hopefully I'll have more to share with you next month. But in the meantime, enjoy your stitching and bye.